just watched a video from this idiot right there known as Exposed to Manosphere, and I'm just like, this guy needs to shut the up, blood. Trust me, he needs to shut the up. You know what I mean? Like, because let me tell you something, yeah. If I ever see him in the street one day, if I ever see him in the street, I'll just knock out his blood clot. I'll knock out his teeth blood. I'll turn to Mike Tyson and swore, pow! Just thump it up. Thump up and fierce.
Nigga, I'll pay your flight, nigga. Nigga, I'll pay your flight.
No. This is not another catch a flight video, but I sure wish it was. Anyway. The Manosphere has long insulated itself from criticism by running critics off of YouTube and blocking them from its channels. As many of you know, I began a YouTube channel in May of last year that was almost terminated by detractors when it just had around 250 subscribers. Because the Manosphere has been unsuccessful in its attempts to run me off YouTube, it has instead resorted to a new tactic, delegitimization. It does this by insisting that I'm taking content creators' words out of context and in some cases flatly making stuff up.
It's interesting that you mentioned Aaron Fountain. Now, me and Concrete have been featured on Aaron Fountain's show, right? And, you know, I felt like a lot of things, people can take certain things out of context.
He will clip out just very out of context video, out of context streams, right? Portion clips, right? Paste them together and then paste the narrative.
But this argument is so disingenuous when you learn how it reacted to my former blog. Just in case you don't know, my old YouTube channel is essentially an offshoot of the blog Pookies, Daggles, and Maggles. It no longer exists because I didn't renew the license. Many of the videos I created on the old and now main channel are literally blog posts in video format. On the blog, whenever I directly quoted someone, I provided a timestamp and hyperlinks. In some cases, I embedded the video on the blog. Do you think the group was okay with this? No, it wasn't. In response, these YouTubers often made their videos private and in some cases deleted them. In one case, YouTuber King Sigma sent me an email claiming that I possibly committed a legal violation and could be subjected to a lawsuit. He then made a video private. I provided this context to explain that the Manosphere has always despised criticism no matter where it's coming from, even from an obscure blog and a YouTube channel with less than 300 subscribers. It's a normal human response to defend one's group from criticism, but the Manosphere far too often engages in counter-arguments that are contradictory, hypocritical, and juvenile. It mocks critics who have criminal records but dismiss or downplay its members who have rap sheets, often for far more heinous crimes. It will complain constantly about the rigid confinements of masculinity, but created and appropriated terms to form its own lexicon to police its limited definition of manhood. It will deny saying something because it knows statements are buried in long live streams or appear on videos that are now deleted or made private. Rather than address the criticism head on, these men and women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s respond by mocking one's physical appearance, hurl homophobic slurs, accuse one of having ulterior motives, threaten unrealistic legal actions, and various other tactics. I could honestly spend hours addressing these tactics, and I have addressed a few in the past, particularly the irony of the group accusing critics of seeking sex and female validation when members of the group hook up behind the scene. Instead, I'm going to briefly cover 3 counter-arguments I received the most. The first is the allegation that I'm taking them out of context. The second is that I'm ignoring the multifaceted topics covered in the space. One major criticism I get frequently is that I quote people out of context. Although many of these folks admitted that they never listened to the original live streams, these guys claim that one would have to listen to the entire 3+ hour live stream to get the appropriate context.
If people actually went and watched the live stream of those clips in full context, it'll look very different.
That means listening to insightful comments like this.
Boy, I will the shit out of Jessica, no lie.
Yeah.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Put her ass to sleep for 3 days.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Okay. All right.
Yo, Ray.
And sitting through moments like this.
Only ones working is essential workers.
Remember, every second counts according to this group. This is just one lazy counter argument, and as one of my subscribers said, it's just moving the goalposts. Most content creators know viewers rarely, if ever, listen to the entire live stream and that panels always get off topic. Since peers are granted access to hop on panels randomly, a 2-hour live stream can discuss various themes. Additionally, if I were to restream the entire live stream, they would file copyright strikes against the videos as they have done against various YouTubers. There is a pernicious undertone to this criticism as well. What many refuse to acknowledge publicly is that they co-sign with many toxic viewpoints. When I quote someone like David Carroll, who has said multiple times that being a black woman should be classified as a mental illness, the fact that he said it isn't the problem for the Manosphere, it's the fact that I recorded him saying it. But rather than acknowledge that the statement is bashing black women, they'll twist the quote by insisting that it's just a harsh truth. They even dismiss the more damaging recordings I have as jokes, even though the person has repeated the statement several times. Lastly, I don't merely capture stupid or fringe statements uttered by these men. I also critique core ideological beliefs such as the wall, older men dating younger women, and various other topics. Another main counter-argument is that I never talk about the quote-unquote good aspects of the Manosphere. This is a valid critique, but it's also just as lackluster as the first. I've stated plenty of times that the Manosphere isn't 100% toxic, yet I honestly couldn't recommend it to anybody because it's too insular, fringe, and spews too much misinformation. This is the same group that downplayed the pandemic, spewed conspiracy theories, and worried whether it will make black women submissive. Content creators complain tirelessly that videos about physical fitness, real estate, cryptocurrency, entrepreneurship, and politics rarely get views. This counter-argument also undermines how YouTube works. Generally, when you subscribe to a YouTube channel, it's because you like a certain theme. If you were to subscribe to a channel about cooking recipes, and then the person started doing movie reviews, you likely would stop watching the content or you would just tune into the cooking videos. I have yet to encounter anybody who wanted to learn how to start a business and stumbled upon the Manosphere. These YouTubers themselves admit that they found the group after dealing with romantic frustrations. Almost nobody comes to the Manosphere solely to learn about physical fitness, business, and whatever. Far too often, these YouTubers try to cover all areas when subscribers can get the same information elsewhere where the person specializes in that field. And many of these guys barely scratch the surface when it comes to these types of videos. It's not enough to tell someone to work out and eat properly. Many people don't know how to work out, nor do they keep up with current exercise science. When it comes to politics, for example, I've watched guys spew misinformation about the 2020 presidential election and literally repeat right-wing canards that demonstrate an elementary level understanding of history. I'm not trying to insult these men's intelligence, but many of them will hop from one hustle to the next so long as it's profitable. You'll be shocked how many of them were pro-black or self-improvement gurus before switching their content. Anonymity and insularity nourish these juvenile tactics and intellectually lazy counter-arguments. What is acceptable in the Manosphere is deemed unacceptable in any real-world situation. It's one out of many reasons why I don't appear on live streams. I'd rather just show how juvenile these folks are than to engage with them in their antics.